The first thing I want you to note is then we're coming back to page 6. Even if you don't understand it, it is absolutely essential that you memorize this. It is not a luxury. I'm not making you memorize something that you will not use. I guarantee you, every day of your Arabic learning for the next few months, you will need this. You will need this. So, Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimaini, Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimina, and I want you to understand why you're memorizing this. So let me explain again. This is broken up into how many groups? Good. Group 1 is called Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin. What's in group 2? Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimaini. What's in group 3? Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimina. Now some students come to me and say, Ustad, uni, ani, ini, mini, mini, mo, I don't understand. There's too many uni, inis. You know what you're doing? You're bunching everything together and then it sounds intimidating and overwhelming. What am I telling you to do first? Break it up into how many groups? Keep them separate. If you jumble things together, you're going to mess yourself up. Math class, mathematics, a good mathematics teacher. When students do their work, sometimes students don't do their work neatly. They write everything on top of everything and they get the answer wrong, right? Even though they understand all the concepts, they don't separate neatly. So what does a good math teacher tell you to do? Separate. Write the numbers separately. Put this neatly so you can see what's going on. Because then you're taking a test and you're all anxious and you're writing all messy when you got to go, because after you do your answers, you want to go back and check if you did everything right. If your answers were messy, you can't check your work. But if your process was neat and clean, you can check your work. Same logic. Clean it up. Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin. Separately. Then what? Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimaini. Then what? Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimina. If you try to look at this all at once, jumble it together, Muslimun, then you're just going to mess yourself up. You'll miss the point. So now, each of these 3 groups is made up of how many members? Each group has 3 members. The first member is always Rafa. The second member is always Nasb. The third member is always Jar. Is that clear? So when I say Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimun is what? Rafa. Musliman is Nasb. Muslimin is Jar. Okay. Then why do we have 3 groups? Why not just have 1 group? What's the difference between the first group and the second group? Fine. Even Muslimani is Rafa. Muslimaini is Nasb. Muslimaini is Jar. The same thing, Rafa, Nasab, Jar. Even in Muslimuna, Muslimuna is Rafa, Muslimina is Nasab, Muslimina is Jar. So if it's always Rafa, Nasab, Jar, Rafa, Nasab, Jar, Rafa, Nasab, Jar, why do we have 3 groups? Because the first group is for what? For singular words. 1 masjid, 1 book, 1 Muslim. The second group is for what? 2 Muslims in Rafa, 2 Muslims in Nasb, 2 Muslims in Jar. And Muslimuna is for who? More than 2 Muslims in Rafa, more than 2 Muslims in Nasb, and more than 2 Muslims in Jar. Does that make sense so far? Okay. So now we did it this way, right? Top to bottom. Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimaini, Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimina. We did it top to bottom. If you look at it across, like for math class, if you look at it across the x-axis, instead of the y-axis. If you look at it across the x-axis, what's the common thing in Muslimun, Muslimani, and Muslimuna? What's the thing that's in common? They're all Rafa. That's 1 Rafa, 2 Rafa, and 3 Rafa. And Musliman, Muslimaini, and Muslimina, what do they have in common? 1 Nasab, 2 Nasab, 3 Nasab, but they're all Nasab. And if you look at the bottom one, Muslimin, Muslimaini, Muslimina, what do they all have in common? They're all Jar. Now, why am I making you memorize this? Because I want page 6. If I meet you 5 years from now and you say, Ustad, I took your Arabic class, and I say page 6. And what are you going to say? Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimaini, Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimina. And I'm going to say, which one is plural Jar? I'm going to say this to you. I kid you not. I will say that. Which one is plural Jar? And what are you going to tell me? You're going to say Muslimina, and I'm going to say, you are a good Muslim. Okay? There's a pun intended in that.
Hey everyone, the clip you just saw was me teaching something about the Arabic language and the intricacies that are involved in appreciating the depth of the Qur'an. I want you to have that skill for yourself. I want to be able to teach you this stuff so that you can appreciate firsthand what's going on in the language of the Qur'an. I know that might be intimidating, but the first steps you can take are actually available from me on YouTube. Just take a look at this series that's showing up on the screen. Get started on this playlist. It's called the Dream Intensive 1. Start with day 1. It's just a 10-day commitment. Let's see how far you get, and I'll give you further instructions.